hope you're having a good day. My name is Rachel, and today I am doing something a little bit different, and I'm doing chores and chats. Not sure what I'm going to call it. Maybe one of those two, maybe something entirely different. But I thought I would chat about just various topics while doing chores. And this particular chore, I think, leads into a perfect chat, which this is actually normally one of my daughter's chores. I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, both girls. And over the years, we have slowly added chores onto their kind of weekly schedule. There's things that they should do every day, but then weekly, there's a couple of larger chores that we write the list out, and they already know a few of them that are just kind of each weekend, and then they work out between the two of them who's doing which one. And it's actually worked out very well, especially I've been doing it much more consistently within the last year, and we've definitely got into a routine. It's usually Saturday morning, sometimes Sunday if Saturday is just a little bit crazy. But there's, as I said, there's a few. So cleaning the bathroom, folding laundry, putting the room together from whatever the craziness of the week just kind of ends up. And then our dining room table usually ends up being an art table just progressively throughout the week. So usually, at least on the weekend, we try to clean it up, clean it off so that we can actually eat at it, and it kind of refreshes it for another round of arts and crafts. And then the other one is usually just picking up throughout the house. There's just bits of trash that get dropped and left everywhere, a random piece of clothing, a book, a this, a that, just wherever throughout. So those are the 4 main ones, with those in folding laundry. This past weekend, we did something on Friday, we did something on Saturday. So I wasn't able to get laundry done in time for it to be a part of their routine. So they ended up, I think they cleaned, one of them kind of cleaned out the inside of the car, like especially their back area, just all the trash. Again, seems to be a pretty common theme. Trash just accumulates in general, but I feel like with kids, I don't know how there's just so much trash and random articles of clothing that just get left everywhere. So I'm curious if you have your children around those ages or other ages. Do they do chores? Do they have something every day, weekly? Kind of what's the routine that you have? It's still something I'm figuring out as they get older. I'm progressively kind of testing out and seeing what seems to work. I want them to have that responsibility, but I don't want them to feel overwhelmed by it. But I also want them to contribute to the house. And I have to say, since we have consistently been doing the chores, our house is just in a much better condition. What would happen before, if we weren't doing this consistently and we skipped a couple of weeks, it got so much stuff everywhere that it became overwhelming and it was harder to get them to do it. So it's been a lot easier now that we've been staying on top of it, and they really don't, obviously they have their moments, but they don't really push back about it. They know, they already say, okay, we know we have to do it. We sit down. We don't really have to write much of a list anymore, only if there are additional items that they have to do or things that aren't a part of the normal routine, but they've definitely gotten used to the standard items. And on the most part, they already know which of the two is going to do the bathroom, which one's going to fold laundry, unless that one decides they aren't in the mood to do it and then they have to negotiate. We don't step in for that. We feel like that's something that they need to work out themselves. But so we also do not pay an allowance. That's just, I don't know. I know some families do it. It seems like a very common thing these days. Again, I'm curious. Do you give your children an allowance? Or do you just give them money for certain things? Kind of what's the routine? Do they get money, not get money? You just pay for whatever they need? Does any money pass through their hands? We do give them money for different things, but we're not in the habit, at least yet, and maybe it's something that will evolve to as they get older, but we don't give them money on a frequent basis. So they don't get money each week, or, with any frequency like that for doing the standard things that, for me, that's just stuff that you do because it's your home. And that's a part of taking care of your home, is doing chores. And Actually, with them, I've tried to not even call it chores because I feel like that gives it a connotation that it's something extra. And for me, this is just, it's taking care of your property. It's taking care of our house, our things. It's taking pride in what we, I don't know why there's tape all in their clothes. Must have been in the washer with it. But it's taking pride in taking care of what you have. So that is something that we've chosen to do, or not do, I should say, but we do pay them, like we'll give them something extra. So I have to say my husband, he's definitely kept them busy. If they sort his like nails, screws, nuts, bolts, his work area, he'll pay them a certain amount of money for that. Like that's not something they can pick, but if he needs it done, then they can do that. I have an art closet, so our front entryway closet, we didn't really use it. So we converted that over into an art closet, I should say I did. And I'll take a picture and show it because actually it is awesome. It made a huge difference in the clutter in our house because all the art stuff just gets crammed in there. But over time, I put it together early last year or late the year before. And over time, it had just gotten a little out of control to the point that stuff was just getting shoved and you couldn't find things. So I had them help me take everything out. And then I had them help me sort through everything and sort it. I still helped put it back together, but I did pay them for that work. So I paid them like $1 or $2 just to take everything out. And then I paid them, I think $5 a piece for everything that they put back, kind of organized, cleared out, got rid of, put in different bins and different containers. But I did pay them $5 for that. I'm probably very cheap on how much I do give them for the, I guess, an allowance for those different responsibilities. But in my mind, we're still buying most of what they need. I do want them to get some money because I do think it's good for them to learn about spending and saving. And it was actually really sweet. We had something happen to one of our cars. And, you know, my husband and I are both really frustrated. And, of course, that affects finances if we have to pay to get it fixed. And so the girls went and got their money out of their little spots where they store it. And they gave it to us because they wanted to help contribute. Of course, they don't know this. I don't know if they're going to watch this and know. But I put it to the side because I thought that was really sweet. And I tried to, you know, say, no, it's okay. But they really wanted me to take it. So I decided to put it to the side and save it for them when we want to buy other things, because I thought that was just a really sweet gesture and I did want to support them in being generous in that way. But it's something, I think it's amazing seeing how children evolve, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but there's times in their lives that I have these, I don't want to call it fears because I feel like that's a strong term, but I get these images of like, oh, you know, are they going to grow up to be responsible? Are they going to grow up to care about stuff? Are they going to this, that, just all of those things that, you know, I feel like as parents, or at least as, I don't know, a mother, I sometimes overthink, I'm sure. You know, but then seeing them at those times where they demonstrate a behavior that just establishes that they have this, they've learned, you know, they've picked up on what we've said we should do, we shouldn't do, we should care for others, or, you know, taking care of our stuff, and then seeing them do that without us having to say it, even when it's just once, it's like, as a parent, it just feels so good to be like, okay, maybe they are getting it. Maybe we're getting somewhere. Maybe they're going to end up being a, you know, a healthy adult with a healthy attitude towards stuff. I don't know how long it's going to take me. The other thing is, after I fold it, the other part of the process that I've never really liked is having to put it away. It's definitely something growing up. I actually enjoy washing laundry. I find it very satisfying to sort it, put it in the washer, put it in the dryer, knowing that it's getting clean. That feels good. But this part of the process, I don't know. I try to find joy in the different things that we do every day so it doesn't feel mundane, but I'm thankful for the clothes and I'm thankful for the items we have, but this process is not my favorite. Wow, we have a lot of unmatched socks. Wait, I think these go. Okay, yeah, these go together. Well, looks like I am done, finally, thankfully. And this I'm not going to bother folding because it actually goes out on our, we have a hanging area for our jackets and stuff. So, all right. Well, thank you for hanging out with me while I folded. What I'm going to do is I need to go organize my office space. So my mother-in-law comes and spends, she's at least spent the last few summers with us. So she's been spending summers. And so the girls sleep in the same room, and then we have an extra bedroom, and that's usually my office, and it's just an extra space. But with my mother-in-law here in the summers, we set that up as her room. And though she's been gone since September and now we're in November, I have not cleared out her bed, put it upstairs, and kind of reorganized the space. So I would really like to get that done to start getting that space. Okay, I'm done. It actually took me probably about 20-25 minutes. I was a little slow at starting up, but once I got going, I was able to get it done.